Good evening, September 23, 2022. You're now with me, Shorcha Metro, and this is our top stories. GE15 postponed after flood season. WAKAF upgrades TVS school. First custom order car concept in Sarawak. Those are the headlines for tonight, and you're now with me, Shorcha Metro, and this is TVS Nightline. Former two-time Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has suggested that the 15th general election to be postponed after the coming flood season. Dr. Mahathir said this is to avoid untoward incidents to the people who go out to cast their votes.
He added that the flood would also complicate the movements of the public to vote. Dr. Mahathir said all contesting parties would also be able to make thorough preparations if the elections were held outside the flood season. When asked about Gerakan Tanah Air or GTA's registration, he said the party had not decided on its candidates for the 15th general election. GTA, formed on August 4th, consists of Pejuang, Parti Bumiputra Perkasa Malaysia or Putra, Barisan Jemaah Islamiyah Se-Malaysia or Berjasa, and Parti Perikatan India Muslim Nasional or IMAN.
RHB Islamic Bank Berhad donates an amount of 500,000 ringgit to Rumah Wakaf Habibah KUCHING and TVS Hidayatul Quran Anur Academy Sibu through the Sarawak Baitulmal Fund. Chief Executive Officer of RHB Islamic Bank Berhad, Dr. Adisa Adikin Ali, said that the Wakaf Fund is the result of collection by RHB Islamic's customers since 2020.
Sebenarnya dua rumah tahfiz ni telah sedia ada, tapi mereka perlukan mungkin penambahbaikan. Jadi kami amat berbesar hatilah dengan kutipan dana wakaf daripada orang umum yang telah kami dapat kumpulkan sebanyak 500,000 itu telah dapat digunakan, dimanfaatkan oleh dua rumah tahfiz yang sedia ada lah, untuk menambahbaikan keselesaan kepada 110 orang asnaf.
He was met after the Islamic Bank Berhad Islamic Business Zakat Contribution Presentation Ceremony witnessed by the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg on Friday. The contribution of Zakat and Wakaf was presented to the President of the Islamic Council of Sarawak, Datuk Mishnu Taha, who represented the Sarawak Baitulmal Fund.
Raya Khas Nuan Berhad is a car dealership that deals exclusively in imported premium recon cars in Sarawak and has been established since 1988. Now, Raya Khas is introducing a new way for customers in the market for a new car to buy their dream vehicles. A first in Sarawak, customers can now customize their orders via iDirect by Raya Khas. According to its coordinator, Roy Muhammad Johnny, the new buying experience will personalize and simplify the car buying process.
Program ini membantu pelanggan sebenarnya untuk mendapatkan kereta impian mereka, dalam keadaan yang lebih cepat, lebih selamat dan juga menjanjikan pembelian yang telus. Jadi melalui program ini juga, Raya Khas iDirect by Raya Khas ini, pelanggan juga boleh sebenarnya memilih kenderaan yang mereka inginkan mengikut kepada bajet, spesifikasi, kondisi kereta, warna dan sebagainya. So jadi ini akan disediakan kepada pelanggan, berdasarkan kepada apa yang pelanggan inginkan.
Additionally, the new purchasing method increases transparency and confidence level of buyers in Raya Khas.
Kami di-entertain oleh salesman kami iaitu Afiq tadi. And caranya very professional lah and convincing, and dari mula deal tu sampai kami padahal kami mau di spec and that spec, of course kami si jumpa dulu kereta ya lah. Kereta kami si nampak pun kami just beli dulu. Something yang kita risiko yang kita ambil lah bila kita pola purchase order tu, macam kereta kita belum ada di depan mata. Okay, so yang pula kami believe is kami just tanggap paperwork ya, and kepercayaan yang kami beri ya based on because kami tangga Raya Khas tu memang banyak deal dengan special order tu, even kawan kami pun beli kereta melalui special order.
For Muhammad Zaki, it was a dream come true for him to purchase his customized dream car via iDirect by Raya Khas method.
Yes, sebenarnya tu serang yo dah lah. Kami macam ni dah ada yo rasa teruja lama dah. Tapi bila nya dah bagi report gambar apa semua nak, memang kami rasa puas hati. Sampainya dah memang macam ni tempohnya dalam silsilah kami dari bulan 6 untuk bulan ni 3 bulan lah. Bila kereta yang kita nampak dalam gambar real sampai, so condition memang rasa puas hati. Saya tahu gini dah macam ni lah, memang puas hati.
Another satisfied client, Husnil Mah, said the car buying process was made easier through the program.
Alright, okay. So macam kami as a business owner tu ada sikit busy lah kalau kami nak berurusan banyak benda. So apa yang best berurusan dengan tim Raya Khas tu tadi, dannya yang akan settle semua.
Raya Khas Sundian Berhad is a Bumiputra-owned automotive company with expertise in meeting customers' demands through the 3A concept, which is accepted quality, affordable price, and after-sales parts. In conjunction with Merdeka Bonanza RK campaign, Raya Khas Sundian Berhad will be holding a roadshow at Viva City Mega Mall Kuching from 30th September to 2nd October 2022.
It is with great hope that the federal government can consider more allocation of budget to Sarawak for the tabling of budget 2023. Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dr. Ahmad Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said this is to allow project upgrades involving infrastructure and logistics to be incentivized, especially in inland areas.
This allocation will also be used to improve the education and medical sectors in Sarawak. This also includes additional financing for projects like buildings of roads and bridges, improving water and electricity supply, and telecommunications, which will propel the state's economic growth.
Dan kita mahu peruntukan diberi untuk kita melaksanakan lebih banyak lagi program-program berbentuk ekonomi. Program-program untuk meningkatkan lagi kesejahteraan hidup masyarakat dalam usaha kita untuk meningkatkan pendapatan masyarakat dan menghapuskan kemiskinan.
Meanwhile, Awang Tengah also urges the implementation mechanism of these projects to be refined.
Kalau tidak, peruntukan ada, tapi ianya tidak dibelanja. Planning stage lah macam-macam, and then tahun selanjutnya projek yang sama juga diberi peruntukan, diumumkan.
This is to ensure that the budgets used for any projects that have been approved for implementation will be distributed and utilized prudently.
The Spau Islamic Welfare Trust Board has proposed for the establishment of Petros Oil Station in Spau. Its chairman, Dr. Abang Ismail Abang Julaihi, had presented the proposal to the Premier of Sarawak, Dr. Padigi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, during his courtesy call on Friday.
Abang Ismail explained that the presence of such facility would be greatly beneficial to the population.
Kita nak membina stesen Petros yang kedua di Spau. Satu di Darwana Kuching. Satu kita cadangkan ditempatkan di Spau kerana supaya ia dapat memberi manfaat kepada lebih 6,000 orang pengguna kenderaan di daerah yang menggunakan jalan tersebut.
The Premier suggested that the matter should be discussed with Sarawak Energy. At the same time, Lakis also proposed a plan to build a Lakis Tafiz school to gather madrasah students in Betong and Kalaka district. Abang Ismail also said that Lakis received an allocation of 20 million ringgit for the purpose of improving Spouse Islamic Cemetery and upgrading Spouse Darul Shifa Mosque.
A man who was reported missing on Tuesday while trying to save his boat in Muara Payang River in Bintangor was found drowned by the search and rescue team. The body of 43-year-old Aziz Yusuf was discovered at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, 200 meters from the location he was last seen. Upon the discovery, the body was fished out from the waters and brought to the control post for identification by the family members before being handed over to the police for further action. Earlier, the man was reported to have jumped into the river to save his drifting boat. However, his attempt was futile when he was reported to have been swept by the swift current. Still to come, global protest around the world on climate change. UMNO's president acquitted of all charges. All these and more on TVS Nightline. Welcome back to the Nightline. Moving on. The search for the sole victim in the MUKAH boat incident enters its second day today. Led by the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, or MMEA, the search members combed an area of 285.16 nautical miles, with the total search area expanded to 794.18 nautical miles so far. However, no new leads have been found. On Thursday, 10 out of the 11 victims have been found, with 2 of the victims dead. Assets deployed include air support by the Royal Malaysian Air Force. The High Court today acquitted and discharged former Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi on 40 graft charges in the Foreign Visa System, or VLN, case. Judge Dr. Muhammad Yazid Mustafa acquitted the UMNO President after finding that the prosecution had failed to establish a prima facie at the end of the prosecution case.
Zahid Hamidi, who is also Barisan National Chairman, was charged with 33 counts of receiving bribes amounting to 13.56 million Singapore dollars, or the equivalent of 43.69 million ringgit, from Ultra Kirana Sundaran Berhad when he was the Home Minister. Allegedly to extend the contract of the company as the operator of the one-stop center service in China and the VLN system, as well as to maintain its contract agreement with the Home Ministry for the supply of the VLN integrated system. He was charged with committing the offences at Sri Satria Precinct 16, Putrajaya, and Country Heights, Kajang between October 2014 and March 2018. However, he pleaded not guilty. However, when met at a press conference after his court session, the Bagan Dato MP said he was grateful for the acquittal, adding that he was confident that the judge presiding over his case had scrutinized all legal aspects before making a decision from day one. He also said his acquittal proves that he had never committed any of the allegations mentioned in his graft charges in the VLN case.
Thank you for staying with me. And now on to world affairs. Climate change becomes a topic of discussion after the world has seen many countries are currently facing with the aftermath of it, such as Pakistan with a flood, Taiwan with multiple high quakes magnitudes, and even Batu Pahat Johor is currently inundated by water. Such phenomenon has geared hundreds of students rallied for a cause, demanding more government action to address the climate change.
About 200 students gathered at the central capital of South Korea with placards calling more action and raising concerns on vulnerable their country is to climate change-driven extreme weather.
우리나라에서도 마찬가지로 태풍과 홍수 등 자연재해 피해를 많이 입고 있습니다. 이것은 지구온난화로 인해서 발생한 것들입니다. 지구온난화가 실질적으로 해결되지 않고 있기 때문에 우리는 이제 바뀌어야 할 필요.
Similar movements are currently being held in New Zealand, where hundreds of demonstrators, including students, gathered outside the Parliament House in Wellington on Friday. The demonstration is led by the Fridays for Future student movement, where the young protesters chanted slogans such as "I stand for what I stand on." Green Party leader James Shaw stands with the demonstrators, joining them in calling the New Zealand government to take action.
Please make today the first day of a rolling series of climate strikes between now and the general election, because we need to rebuild the momentum that we had before the pandemic. We need to make sure that we pick up the pace of climate action and policy in this country. It is absolutely vital, because whilst we have done a lot over the course of the last 5 years, we are only now getting to the start line. And we have to put so much more pressure on our other politicians and our businesses around the country to pick up the pace. Until every year, we need to see our emissions decline until we hit zero.
A part of Wellington, other New Zealand cities such as Christchurch and Auckland will hold rallies and demonstrations to draw attention to global warming and demand further action. Other rallies of the same cause are set to be held in Britain, Brazil and Indonesia as well.
The COVID-19 pandemic has ravaged the world for 3 years. Though the fight against the pandemic is yet to be over, the World Health Organization, or WHO, reminded and urged the world governments for coordinated action and political commitment in order to save lives.
Tedros reiterated the words again at a press conference briefing on Thursday. He pointed out that the pandemic still caused a death toll of approximately 10,000 per week, which can be prevented. While large vaccination gaps still exist, especially for those in low and middle-income countries. ACT Accelerator Facilitation Council, co-founded by WHO and its partners, recommend that proper access to COVID-19 countermeasures and preparation is critical for countries to manage the virus as part of a long-term strategy.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally by heading on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Cheryl Shaminato. Thank you for watching.
Kejayaannya mencuri tumpuan ramai. Berkaki ayam, murid asal pedalaman Sarawak ini berjaya buktikan kemampuannya. Mengharumkan nama Sarawak, mengangkat martabat bangsanya. Apakah dorongan atlet bertubuh kecil ini?
TVS jam 8 malam.
Nantikan laporan khas juara tanpa kasut dalam Utama TVS 25 September hanya di saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.